G'day, freedom lovers. Mark's back here again. Or Batty, we're still in the decision process. This week we decide, am I going to continue to be Mark or am I going to become the character Batty that I once was from my former band life? But before we get into anything further, we've got Ramona here with us in this studio today. But before we get to that, first, we've got to acknowledge our wonderful fail of the week. Good old Aaron Harper. So let's have a quick look at why he got fail of the week. Welcome to Fail of the Week, and this week we've got Aaron Harper as an epic fail. You know, sometimes I think maybe I'm not going to be able to keep doing this week after week, but some people just seem to make it easy for me. Let's have a look at why he's a fail.
Oh yeah, okay, get it all out now. Get your abuse out now. Righto. When you actually want to hear from me, I'll start. So, do you actually want to hear what we're doing or not? Well, I'll wait until you're finished and then I'll speak. Are you done? Do you want me to speak or not? Or I can just walk away. I'll get it off your chest. So, are we going to listen or not?
So as you can see at this week's crime rally, he wasn't exactly well received, but the icing on the cake was when he said this.
Have a little bit of respect. Well, you called me here, so I'm either going to bloody speak or I'm not. Yes, no? I bet you if I walked around, half of you are bloody LNP anyway. I'll rent a crowd.
As you can see, it's not exactly the nicest way to treat people who are victims of crime and are definitely concerned and are asking to be heard. You seem to have failed on that element because you just keep asking people, will you listen to me? I think we're done listening to you. Maybe you need to listen to the people. Here's some people you didn't listen to that emphasise the point.
I and my daughter were a victim of crime. My daughter's car was stolen back in 2013, so that's 10 years ago. In all these years, nothing's changed. Nobody's listened. But I'm trying to get appointments to see these pollies. They refuse to see you. They don't want to hear what you're saying.
Tell us about what you've been seeing on your security cameras.
Since the juvenile residential homes have infected Annandale, as multiple ones of them, crime has gone through the roof. These kids dance in front of our cameras on the street. They line up 4 stolen cars in a row because they know we've got cameras.
Have you taken any of this up with Les Walker?
Les Walker cooks a great sausage. We went home and still don't feel safe in our homes.
So a couple of sausages is not going to buy some happiness in this case?
It's not going to stop our elderly from being home invaded and assaulted in their own homes.
We've had people killed on the roads. We've got a young bloke who's had a compound fracture because they used a vehicle to knock him off his bike.
It was everything that I thought and knew in my heart, being in that hospital bed when everybody connected to me, and how quickly and rapidly people came to me with all the information, support, as well as the town's bulletin, rapidly changing the story to get that perspective of it was intent. They were malicious. They striked me. They waited for the opportunity to target and hit me, and they have no regard or remorse whatsoever. To have that crowd there stand made me believe the very thing that I'm talking about is the Australian spirit, the community. The very community that I stand here to go, this is something that we should all be in support of, our freedoms.
I bet you if I walked around, half of you are bloody LNP anyway. I'll rent a crowd.
Well, that concludes this week's Fail of the Week. Stay tuned for next week's winner. Well, there you have it. It was a pretty interesting weekend, I must say. But anyway, enough of Aaron and enough of his wonderful fails. Let's introduce the world to Mona. How are you, Mona? G'day, Mona. How you going? Can you hear me okay? You'll have to bear with us, folks. We did have some technical difficulties getting this started, but it... good. Thanks. Are you there? That's good. I was hoping we weren't having some more of them glitches.
I'm good. And how are you?
Oh, well, I'm surviving. I'm doing my best.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. I think we've got a bit of a delay there, though. So, Ramona, tell us a little bit about yourself.
They don't want that.
Sorry?
Well, they don't want us to talk. and come out and speak about.
That is a distinct possibility. We are getting some serious interference. It was working really well before, and now it's gone all pear-shaped on us. Anyone out there in the audience can give us a little bit of a comment or two. Tell us what you're hearing, because it seems like we're having a bit of trouble here. It's just paused on my end. Wonders of modern technology. It's supposed to make everything easier and better and
Yep.
more efficient. How you going there? Can you hear us? You're moving again?
Yes, it sounds like it. Getting some interference.
Most certainly. What can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Oh, we've lost you. Oh, okay. So it looks like it's going to be one of those shows, boys and girls, where I just make shit up because it's not working very well for us. But so this affords me a little bit of an opportunity to play around with some buttons and whatnot. So let's move that one and put that one there. And I'd just like to extend a very big thank you to a very kind person who dropped a very large donation towards us this week. That's awesome. I can afford to feed the kids. So the important thing is this poor little girl, my lovely daughter Astrid, no longer has to eat Texters. We can afford to feed her real food this week. But of course, if you're worried about this poor girl here starving to death and you want to help us out, of course you can drop in to our GoFundMe page for the Indigenous people. We did the Indigenous Voice to Parliament video, obviously, which was a big success, and the people there were really happy about that. But we have so much more to share about my time on country. So if you can help us fund that one, that'd be great. Hang on, we got Mona giving me a call here. Give me 1 second. How you going there? No, we lost that too. We are not having a good run with Mona today. Struth, maybe we'll just open this up to anybody who wants to come and join in. We got Rise in Melbourne. Rise, you're got Mona very choppy. Yeah, it's a bit... It's not good, not good, not God. Yeah, cool. So you're good, Mona. Very choppy is what we meant to say there. Yeah, we are having some serious technical difficulties there. It's not good. In the meantime, of course, you can support us. Linktree there. We've got links to PayPal. We've also got a link there to Bitcoin. If you do the Bitcoin thing, I'm still a bit new to it myself. I might have to get me mate Jason to come in and have another yarn with us. If you go through the old profile of videos, you can see we've done a bit of work with Jason. Upcoming too, another little thing, if you give me a little moment, because I'm now totally making this up as I go. So I'm just going to add in another little image here when I find it, because we have a very important guest coming. Oh, it's the wrong format. That'd be right. Anyway, Monica Smith, for those who haven't, have heard of her before, she's done some amazing work and been traveling all around, and she's coming to Townsville. So anybody in the Townsville surrounding region and whatnot, I can't get this to come up without converting it, because it wasn't part of the show today. This was something I was going to work on. Oh, actually, I can bring it into the browser. Haha, I think I've just figured it out. Look at that. So, we got Mona's back. But just to finish off that, Monica Smith is coming to Townsville Thursday, 9th of November, 6:30 p.m. That will be at 42 Lancaster Street, Garbett. We will have more on that soon enough. In the meantime, let's get this banner thing sorted out and welcome Mona back again. How you going, Mona? Can we hear you this time? Are you there, Mona? Okay, we're still having technical issues. This is not good, boys and girls. It's a bit fun, unfun, But I'm going to make things up as I go. Let's see who else we got. This is Dennis. G'day, Dennis. How are you, mate? Janine's saying awesome. That's great. I'm guessing that's awesome to Monica coming to town. I'm going to assume that. Dennis, again, another great bloke. If you haven't checked out Dennis's work, you definitely should. Maybe, Dennis, you can pop in a quick little link, because I'm flying by the seat of my pants here, mate. If you want to, send a link to some of your work, by all means, jump in on that. We still haven't got anything from Mona, unfortunately. I think we'll just pop that there for the time being until maybe I see some movement. But let's check it out to see if I can pull a little rabbit out of my hat here. If I go share my screen and I scroll through and have a look. Not that one, not that one, not one, that one. That's the one we want. Share that. There you go. So there's the event. We've just had that confirmed today. I have contacted this lovely lady, and hopefully, we might even get a chat in before she comes to visit. That'd be really good. If not, maybe we'll get an interview on the day. We'll sort something out. Something's going to happen. This is the freedom movement. Sometimes we make things up as we go, just like I am right now. And things always seem to work out though. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Like, when I met the guys from Cafe Locked-Out, or Michael to be specific, and before I knew it, bang, I'm presenting for Cafe Locked-Out, which I'll be doing again Friday. So this Friday we've also got another wonderful guest, very important guest actually. She's been a part of the North Queensland Freedom Network for quite some time now. And when I fumble my way through here just a couple more times and I find what I'm looking for, because I was a little unprepared for technical difficulties, but that's life. You gotta. Everyone's expecting a show. I've got to do something. But here we go. We've got Deborah from Frog Safe, a wonderful conservation group dedicated to looking after, our frogs. And we've got a couple of videos that we've done with Deborah, but she's since moved up to Innisfail. She's unfortunately no longer on the property that she was, which was really good and well set up. Last I was talking to her, she was saying that she might have to relocate again, just because the facilities in Innisfail were just not really up to the standard required for looking after these poor little frogs. And I could probably drag up a couple of images actually. Again, I'm just making this up as I go, so please just bear with me for a second while I promptly try and make something happen and turn an unfortunate situation into something a little bit better. Where am I? I've got to organise my files a little bit better. Have some backup plans for when things like this happen. I'm going to go back to the 2022 files, and boy did I do a lot of stories. A lot of stuff there. Oh, look out. We might have Mona back. Let's get that down. Add Mona to the stage. Look out, we're back. How are you going there? Can we hear you this time?
I hope you can hear me this time.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's coming through. It's still a little bit glitchy, but I think we can get through this. Okay, maybe I cursed us. Touch wood. Come on, come back to us. All right. So for those who wish to do this with me in future, we've got to make sure we've got good internet connections, because that could be a problem we're having here. That Mona may not be in the best internet savvy place. I just heard a brief or something. I don't know. It was a digital glitch. All right, so back to making things up as I go. Open up these files. Make sure I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm going to have to go back to 2022. And I'm going to look for the old video that we did. Of course, you're welcome to go and have a look at the first Frog Safe video. And I want to give a good thanks to Oliver, good old Oliver. He's been a bit busy lately, and I hope to have him back here working with us as soon as he's possible, able to jump in and give us a hand again, because he's done some great work with the environmental things, and I think Oliver's got a really cool story, and I don't want to ruin it. I think I might get him to share his story, because it's quite an interesting one. It really just displays the the horrific nature in the way leftists treat each other, because Oliver was big into the environmental thing, and he thought he was doing the right thing by joining some of these groups, and they didn't seem to reciprocate too well, But let me try something here. Yeah. Well, here's a reason we want to support Frog Safe. Have a look at that. I mean, these are the kind of tumours that we're getting from some of these poor frogs in the north there. You know, there's some really weird things going on there. I think she put a post up saying that you know, it's a kind of a seasonal thing with these cancers and whatnot are coming up. You know, and I guess I'll take that image down before someone chucks their guts up or something. As soon as I figure out what that button went again. You know, there's some really strange things happening there. And you know, she needs a bit of help getting things going, because as she said, she sort of resides in this strange world where, you know, she's not quite a government agency and she's not really a science thing. She doesn't fall into any of their government categories, you know, and I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that suffer the same kind of pain where, you know, the government can't put you into some sort of pigeonhole. We don't know how to define you. What do we do, you know, because everything needs to be defined, dissected and shoved in a pigeonhole apparently. But Deborah does some amazing work helping these animals and trying to rehabilitate them. And there's obviously a lot of things that, you know, answers that need to be obtained. Looks like Mona's trying to come back in, but I'm not seeing an actual person just yet. It's just a white screen. Okay, we're back. Let's try this again. Mona, how are we going this time? Can you hear me, Mona? How you going? Yep, and we've got that lovely spinning wheel of death. It's almost as good as the blue screen of death for those who are PC users. I certainly love seeing it myself. It always brightens my day. My latest video with Dr. Ben about climate change. Awesome. That sounds like a cool one. That's another one that I actually quite like with Deborah from the Frog Hospital being another environmentalist herself. She has some very interesting views on that sort of stuff too, which led us to our infamous wind farm video. If you haven't seen that, you should definitely go through the rest of our category and have a bit of a look at that. She's booked for our common law group in Cairns also. Okay, cool. So you got Monica coming to town as well. That's pretty awesome. It looks like she's doing the North Queensland tour. How you going there, Mona? Can you hear us? Are we on yet, or what? Nope. Still having technical difficulties. Thanks for the pat on the back there, Dennis. I am doing the best I can with what I have. This certainly wasn't part of the plan, boys and girls, but I do have something that I did kind of prepare, and it was kind of going to be for a later show, but truth, things are going a little bit sideways at the moment, so I thought we might give this a crack today. Here's a video I actually found on YouTube.
Perhaps I can help you, Chuck. I think the election was a victory for good government. It might also be called a victory for propaganda. But that would have been equally true if our opponent had won.
But how can you study it?
Well, you can begin by investigating the techniques of propaganda. Here, I've listed some of the main ones. Glittering generalities?
What is a glittering generality?
That headline you were quoting, a victory for good government. Good government is a phrase we use many times during the campaign. We said the mayor stood for good government and promised good government.
But it's true, isn't it?
What's true? What does good government mean? Is the mayor's idea of good government the same as yours?
I see. It's a glittering generality.
One of the best.
There's another.
Yes. And why do you suppose our opponents chose that phrase?
I guess because everybody likes a real American.
Right. And they wanted to transfer that liking for a real American to Mr. Butler. A day or so after that poster came out, I said in one of my campaign speeches, our opponent advertises himself as a real American. I say he is unreal, unrealistic. He is a visionary, a theorist, a dreamer. He is so thirsty for public office that like a weary traveler in the desert, he sees a mirage and he is trying to sell it to you as real. There. Now what would you call that?
That's name-calling, visionary, theorist, dreamer.
That's right. And those are very polite names. For my collection of propaganda materials, I've made a special record of part of one of Mr. Butler's radio speeches.
Mayor Cooper asks that he be judged by his performance in office. Very well. Let's ask him who was mayor when the municipal waterworks fell into such a state of disrepair that the whole town was without water for 2 days. Let's ask him. But no, let's not. It might embarrass him.
That's what we call card stacking. Cooper was mayor when the pumping station broke down, but it was the men in office before him who allowed it to get into such a rundown condition, and it finally gave way before he could get anything done.
And card stacking is choosing some facts and leaving out others and arranging them to suit your purpose.
Now, did you see our little campaign movie?
Yes, a couple of times.
Well, let's look at it again.
Land sakes, a body hardly has time enough. The house to clean, and the washing to do, and the men folks to feed. They like their chocolate cakes, too. But I do want to take time to tell you that I've known Dick Cooper ever since he was knee-high to a grasshopper. He comes of a good, respectable family, just as honest as the day is long. And he knows our town. He's one of us. That's why I'm going to vote for Mayor Cooper. And all my friends are going to vote for him, too.
Recognize the technique?
That must be what you call plain folks.
That's right. You'll find many versions of the appeal based on the common man, the man on the street, log cabin to president. Now let's look at the rest of the movie.
Yes, Mrs. Hamline is voting for Mayor Cooper. Her friends are voting for Mayor Cooper. Your friends are voting for Mayor Cooper. The people know what they want, and what they want is Mayor Cooper. Don't you be left behind. Get on board the Victory Special. Vote for Mayor Cooper and ride with him to victory.
That ending's easy to spot. It's the bandwagon.
Yes, the propaganda we've been talking about is easy to detect. But a great deal of propaganda is much more hidden, much harder to detect.
That's what's bothering me. Even in a small local election, there's so much propaganda. That poster, a real American. It uses a transferred device. Does that mean it isn't true?
Not necessarily. Evaluating propaganda isn't that simple. Recognizing the technique is one step. Another step is to know the purpose. What is the purpose here?
That's easy. To get people to vote for Butler.
Yes, to persuade people that Butler is the better man, to move them to vote for him. In short, to sell Mr. Butler to the voters. You'll find that the purpose of most propaganda is to persuade people to believe something, to do something, or to buy something.
All right. But it still doesn't answer my question.
No. Your next step, and it's a big one, is to get the facts.
Well, is he a real American?
Howard Butler was born in this country. He obeys its laws. He's a good citizen. Yes, he is a real American. The same can be said for Richard Cooper. So ask yourself whether the facts support the purpose. Do they support the transfer of feeling from real American to Mr. Butler over Mr. Cooper?
No, I guess not.
Well, that's your fourth step. Weigh the facts against the purpose and the technique.
I think I understand. To know whether propaganda is good or not, whether it's true or not, I should know the purpose, recognize the technique, get the facts, and judge the purpose and technique by the facts.
But when you want the facts about live political battle, don't come to a campaign manager.
I might do it at that. But I will also go and see your opposition.
Well, that's all right. Whenever you're tracking down propaganda, get as many different points of view as you can.
Do you know something?
What?
I think that it might be interesting to make a really serious study of propaganda.
I find it interesting, and there's plenty to study. Here I have just a few of the many books on the subject. You can read them. You can keep your eyes and ears open for little bits of propaganda. And, of course, you can study whole propaganda campaigns. Here are a few on which I've been gathering material. Hitler and Nazi Germany had a campaign of propaganda that ran over many years. Then there's a wealth of propaganda to study on the subject of Russia and communism. There's propaganda to study in our own American elections, national as well as local, and in many of the major issues on which elections often hinge.
Well, if I don't learn about propaganda, it won't be because there's no way to study it.
That's right, Chuck. Remember the techniques of propaganda, and use the procedure we out is a powerful force. So powerful that your study of propaganda is important not only to you, but to me and to the world.
Wow, that was a very interesting video, eh? That was from 1948. So, yeah, I was going to have like some more material prepared to go along with that. You know, it was a sort of a testing idea. You know, once I just happened to come across that video while I was getting all this software tested. I'm like, oh, cool. I wonder if I download that, and oh yeah, cool. I can do this. Those things work. And so it's been a bit of a saving grace for today. At least you didn't tune in to see nothing. Unfortunately, Mona's having some serious trouble. We've determined that she's using one of them bloody USB wireless things, and she's probably getting like some sort of EM interference. I've personally never been a big fan of those. Can't beat a good old hardwired internet connection. So we're probably going to have to try again another day with Mona. She sends her apologies. We'll just have to try again another time, and it's a good reminder, I guess, for anybody who wants to be a guest to make sure you got a decent internet connection when we're trying to do these sorts of things, because the video and the audio is one thing, but the video is another. It chews up a lot of bandwidth, and I guess not everybody's quite up with the technology. I've been playing with computers for as long as I can remember, really. As soon as we got our first computer, I was ripping into the thing and doing things you're not supposed to do. I had a couple of Asian mates in high school who taught me a few tricks about computers. And I managed to brick the family computer. And next thing I know, I'm there reading the manual, learning how to reprogram the config.sys and the autoexec.bat file, which is basically the boot sequence for the computer. But you used to computers came with manuals back then. Now, Struth, you need help, quick jump online. How are my computers stuffed? Somebody really thought that one through. It's the same as, what was it, the My Republic internet connection mob we used to have before they went bust, and have handballed it onto a different Superloop, I think, is what's going now. And they decided that they were going to get rid of their phone call help service, and just make it all online, which really didn't help, because I'd set this up for my parents, and next thing you know, they're calling me going, the internet's stuffed and we can't call anyone to help. They want us to go online, but the computer was the only way they could go online. So here I am in Queensland helping my parents in bloody Victoria, trying to fix their internet connection for them, because they needed to be online to do it. It's just fucking retarded, Like, who thinks of these things? Like, the world has just gone utterly pear-shaped, It's just ridiculous. It's the same as, I've been trying to go for a truck license for a while, And I've lost count of how many times I'm on the phone to the Queensland Roads mob, explaining, trying to fix things that, the school that I'm doing the truck driving thing through should be able to sort out on their own. But, they call, and then I've got to call, and then I'm going to call them back, and then it's like, for fuck's sake. Sorry, I'm swearing. But, look, I think even in the end it worked out. Oh, yeah, my what was it? Today's problem was my license was expiring, and they were trying to book the date to be after my license had expired. So I'm like, okay, cool. So you want me to renew my license? That's easy. I've got the credit card. Let's sort it out. Oh, no, you can't. We can't do it over the phone. We're going to have to send you a link to an email thing, and then you're going to have to do it yourself. Oh, my God. What kind of a service are you running here? Like, at what point was it, we stopped being able to use a credit card over the phone? I didn't even wanted a bloody credit card, but I needed it to do stupid things like this, because they made my life so goddamn hard. Here it is, I jumped through those hoops and they've gone and moved the hoops again. Madness. But, I haven't been having much luck. I was supposed to be doing that truck license and hopefully earning some money, because for those who don't know, I had a naval hernia operation about 5 weeks ago, and that stops my ability to lift things. And a lot of the work I was doing to keep me afloat required heavy lifting. You know, I can't even pick my kids up at the moment because they exceed the 5 kilo limit. But I've got to go and get that sorted out to see if I'm able to lift and see how well things have healed up, because we're getting close to that 6-week mark. But anyway, you know, I went for that truck driving test. Was it about 2 or 3 weeks ago? And bloody school zone got me. I become a little bit complacent, so I'll wear that one. I should have been paying attention. I kind of thought, oh yeah, sweet, I'm done. We're going through this. We're on our way back. And yeah, overconfidence got the better of me. So that was $1,000 down the drain. $1,000 I didn't really have either. I certainly don't have it now. So it's cost me another bloody $500 to have another crack at that. And we were booked in for Thursday, and I confirmed the link. Was it this morning? Was it yesterday? Oh, I'm losing track of time. But anyway, we'll say it was today, because that just works well for the storytelling purposes. So yeah, I clicked the link. I'm like, yep, cool, I'll be there. I'm you know, ready to go. And then 10 minutes after I've confirmed that link, they're on the phone going, oh, really sorry, the truck's actually, you know, needs to go in for a service. It's the radiator's cracked. Yeah, we're gonna have to postpone it again. So now that's been postponed for 3 weeks again. So I've already 3 weeks I haven't been able to work, or 5 weeks technically that I haven't been able to work, and now it's another 3 weeks I'm not going to be able to work. I've got all this wonderful truck driving jobs lined up and stuff, but I need this stupid little card thing, you know. I need to jump through the hoops to say, look, I can do this, and have my government authorized card that says I can have my right to earn money back, you know. So yeah, that wonderful donation I received today was, yeah, that's awesome. That's going to help us get through another week, and I really do thank my good friend there for doing that. And long-time supporter of the channel, as I understand, which is really, really kind of him to, you know, enjoyed what I've done so much that he can, you know, spare a few bucks for us. And, you know, again, I remember when I was a kid in Perth. I wasn't really a kid. I was probably about 18, 19 years old or something, gone to Perth. I think it was in Fremantle, actually, and there was a street performer there. And the old street performer, you know, he's doing his thing, and, you know, he's juggling and whatnot, and he starts throwing these balls out everywhere, and, you know, he's thrown one right at me. I'm like, oh, great, I've got this ball, you know. And I got my little cousin with me, you know, he's all of about 10 or 12 years old at the time. I'm like, and he's like, oh, I want the ball. I'm like, yeah, no worries, you can have it. And the guy's face is drained, you had to see it. And they got everybody to sit down. He go, well, actually, I did give it to you. Can you grab that ball back from that kid? Because I need somebody a bit bigger to do this. So I get roped into doing this street performance show with the dude, you know. And I'm like, oh, great, you know. There wasn't more what I expected. I wanted to see the show. I didn't want to become part of it, but that kind of thing just seems to happen to me, you know. I'm sort of destined to be in the limelight some way, shape, or form, it would seem, you know. And I go out there and I help this dude and do the show and whatnot. And at the end of the show, he gets his little hat out and he's like, you know, if you've enjoyed this show, if you know, this is what I do for a job. If you've you know, you've sat here, I've entertained you, and if you think that's worth something, then put that something in this hat, you know. And I extend the same thing, you know. If you enjoy what I've been doing, and the hours of sleeplessness and the gallivanting all around the countryside with a camera to try and grab all this amazing information and bring it back to you, the people, then, you know, please do you know, drop a couple of bucks in my little digital hat. Oh, look, I can take this hat off, you know. Can you chuck some in me Know Your Rights hat, you know. The only reason I got this is because I went on the show and they were kind enough to spare one for me. So, you know. And again, you know, if you jump on the Know Your Rights thing and you become a member, you can actually go back to August last year, and you can have a listen to me on that show, just as well as you can actually find me, actually Dennis, mate, if you're still listening too. I think it's Monday coming, on his radio station. He actually interviewed me, which was really cool, and I've interviewed him, and that's in the backlog of stuff that you might want to have a look at too, because he's doing some really good work. Great bloke. Highly recommend you checking his stuff out, particularly if you're, you know, in that Cairns, Innisfail regions and whatnot. His stuff's going to be very relevant to you, and I think we're going to be doing a bit of work together, you know, a lot more work together, I hope, as time goes on. It's always good to work with people and other people, and you know, that's one of the little visions I had for the North Queensland Freedom Network, is that it would continue to grow. It would become bigger than just little old me. And that seems to be sort of already happening with the connections we've made with Cafe Locked-Out, which will be going live to Friday, and the connections I've made with Dennis here, who's Universe. Yeah, Universe is stitching me up in a sense. Stitching me up or setting me up for this yarn and just letting things pour out. And of course, we'll totally appreciate that. He obviously totally appreciates the support, and likewise, dude. It's definitely check out Dennis's channel there, man. It's some really good stuff. And you can find links to the videos from my video, because I'm a bit unprepared today. I'm just totally making this up as I go. I did have another word there, but it was probably a little bit too bogan. I'm falling back into the old. So this is my old band, boys and girls. I'm gonna turn it that way. I think that website's still up. I haven't actually looked. I don't think the music feature works anymore, because that used to be a paid subscription thing. And I'm like, well, what's the point of paying for? I think it was like $80 a year or something to keep the videos and the music link button made in there. Anyway, you could probably still find some of my tunes up there. You can see, if you like your heavy metal, you'll be able to digest that a little bit. But we've also, another thing that Dennis and I did while we were up at Apocalypso, and I'm working on the footage for that too. I think I'm pretty much going to go through our Patreon. So if you want to become a Patreon member, I've got some good stuff coming up there. It's only $10 a month to get absolutely everything. There's a $5 a month option, and I mean, at the end of the day, a mainstream newspaper is charging $7 a week. Shit, $10 a month, and I'm giving you video. They just give you shitty little articles 3 minutes long to read. But and it's a good idea. Plug the 5 podcasters. So we did a wonderful podcast up in at Apocalypso, all the way at the back of Mariba there, which was a beautiful spot. Former hippie. I've bloody lost the word for it now. Hippie commune. That's it. So there was a lot of really cool stuff that was already there, and our good friend there had set up an amazing stage, and put us all up, and we had some great food. I was just editing the video with Chef John. I can't remember how to pronounce his last name. It's a strange last name. It's a South African. Botha is the way it's said, but spelt, but I think it said something different. I was editing that video, and that's going to be a cool one, because especially for those who went along, they'll probably be thinking, oh man, the food was just small. And he does explain why, and that video will be available. I think it's $30 it was the price we were going to put on it, and anybody who did see it can relive the moment, and those who are unfortunately unable to make it will be able to see at least the bits that I filmed. There's obviously a hell of a lot more to the event than what I was able to capture, because can't hold a camera all day. Sooner or later a man's got to have a bit of a break. But Dennis and I did the 5 podcasters video, which was really impromptu. I think I'd known Dennis for however long it took us to set the cameras up before we sat down and did that one. I'd only just watched some of Dave and Tom's stuff on the stage, and realised that they were doing work with Darren as well. I'm like, okay, cool. With Darren, obviously we had him on the show last week, and that was a really cool little connection point. And so I hadn't really met them before. And Dale, I think I'd heard the name a few times, but I'd never watched any of the things he'd done before. I've since watched a couple of his videos now, just sort of catch up and try and see a little bit more what's going on. But the 5 of us sat down and just had this really impromptu rant and a rave, and it's definitely worth a look. We delved into some topics that, although I'd looked at, I tend not to discuss very often. Thanks, mate. I will definitely keep up the good work. I hope you're enjoying my impromptu rant. But definitely keep an eye on those. Go and have a look at those videos that we've done. It was a lot of fun, you know, and I think, you know, at some stage we'll probably connect with some of those guys again, which would be really good. You know, that's the wonderful thing about this freedom movement. Like, everybody's, you know, your friend. It's really cool. You know, everybody's just a friend I haven't met, you know. It sounds stupid, but it's actually, in this particular instance, very true. Very true. I've thoroughly enjoyed the last few years, and I want to thank all our tyrannical overlords for, you know, doing what they've done, because it, you know, it's brought us all together in this amazing little world. I'm meeting so many cool people, you know, and good old Ruben here is one of them. Great bloke, who's been helping me out understanding how Twitter works and stuff, which has been very beneficial. It's a really cool platform that you know, I'd always stayed away from, because I'm like, well, it's Twitter, and it was really left biased, and, you know, they pissed Trump off, and I'm like, well, you know, I never dealt with the platform anyway. But now that, you know, Elon's given it a bit of a facelift, I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm finding we're getting a lot of reach out of there. It's certainly not as restricted as Facebook. I know there's the whole shadow banning thing, you know, but there's one thing that people probably don't realize about Facebook, and you can learn a lot more about it from the Joe Rogan podcast he did with you know, Zuckerberg. And he basically explains, every time you click that angry face or the sad end of the comment realms, that actually bumps things down. If you want to see that bump up, you got to click the like, you know, and just like this video. And then, you know, you click that like button, you know, there's a little thumbs uppy thingy, you know, you click that, that helps boost this up, you know, because it's all based on algorithms, you know, and the more people interact with things, the more it goes up in the feed. It becomes, you know, more popular. What's trending, for instance, is another term of looking at it. You know, you see that on the side of your Twitter thing, you know, what's trending. So in order to get, you know, these podcasts and these messages that we're all trying to get going, very unprofessional. But that's what we do best, and that's why it was really good, wasn't it, man? It's what I really loved about it. Well, it was a little bit unprofessional in a sense, but we made it work with what we had, just like I'm doing that now. You know, if anybody else wants to join in for a quick yarn, you're more than welcome to. If you shoot me an email, let's have a look. There's got a couple of things in the email box here. That's just telling me that everything's going. I just closed that window down. I can't even see what I'm doing now. Righto. Nah, his chat with Dale was unprofessional. Okay, cool. But still, that's what we do. do best, man. You just make it up as we go. Kind of losing track of my thoughts at the moment. But hey, look, you know, I've been talking about, you know, it's like turned into an episode of Seinfeld, isn't it? You know, it's a show about nothing. Yeah, Friday. We'll definitely have things working better then. And Deb, if you're watching, make sure you got that internet connection going good. I might give you a bit of a chat earlier to make sure everything was working. Because, I mean, we did do that with Mona today. We did check that, and it was working. Everything was good. And then come showtime, you know, it collapsed. It fell in a heap. But, you know, that's what it is. But, hey, if you enjoy my work and, you know, all the things, 'cause I sit here all day, every day, pretty much, you know, and I'll probably still be sitting up till midnight editing videos, you know. Please drop us a couple of bucks and help me feed my poor starving children who have to eat Texters. Like, I mean, you know, look at this poor girl. Look at that poor girl. She had to eat Texters, you know. She's starving, you know. You don't want her to eat Texters, do you? Look at those teeth. You know, I know she looks happy about it. I'll tell you what, mother wasn't happy about it. I kind of had a bit of a chuckle myself, but, you know, that's the nature of the beast, you know. Definitely, you know, make sure you tune in Friday. You know, we've got Deborah, who's a lovely lady, to have a yarn about all things Froggy. Of course, hey, I don't know if this works, but I guess if you're sitting in front of a computer, you can let me know if it works. I've got to get that. Now it's in a different menu. I'll take that one off. All right. So you got these little scanny things, you know, and apparently they do things. Somebody test it. Let me know. You know, you can maybe drop me a couple of bucks in PayPal. You can maybe drop me a couple of Bitcoin Cash things if you know how to do that. I mean, I might have to get Jason, like I was saying before, get Jason on again to sort of run us through. He did do a podcast with us ages ago before I was doing live streaming stuff, but I think it'd be good to get him in for a live stream. What do you reckon? He can explain a little bit more about the old Bitcoin. That's one I prepared a week ago and I finally used it. Yay me! What else was I going to say? That's where I was going to come back to this stuff and remind you of the Indigenous Doco GoFundMe. The links are in the description. I'm pretty sure I was a little bit more organised in that capacity today and got that going. You know, obviously, the Patreon, it's going to have a lot of cool stuff in it. Actually, there's a really cool one. Glenn. My good mate Glenn, you know, one of our blackfella friends who featured in the Indigenous Voice to Parliament video and is a big component of the Indigenous video that we are going to be putting together. We sat down about 2 weeks ago and watched the movie Walkabout. If you haven't watched it, you're going to have to watch the movie first before you sit down and watch us do, what do you call it, a reaction video. I've never watched a reaction video in my life, but apparently people seem to enjoy watching other people watch shows, so we thought we'd give it a crack. And in this case, it's actually really relevant because once you watch that movie Walkabout, you get to the end of it like I did and just go, what did I watch? What was that? That was out there, you know. It was really cool, and I had so many questions, you know, and that was the good thing, you know, white fella, black fella sitting down talking about a movie where white fella, black fella are trying to figure things out, and here we are trying to figure it out, and then you guys get to add the third level to that and watch us as we've tried to figure it out, and it was very informative. I learnt a hell of a lot from doing that video, and that will definitely be on the $10 Patreon thing because it's going to be a bit of work. I think we sat down for about 6 hours, you know, of you know, watching the movie, pausing it, and then we stop and we talk about this, that, and the other, and some of the things Glenn points out. Ooh, yeah, that'll blow your mind. I tell you what, I don't want to ruin it, but you know, if you're still watching, Dennis, you asked us about Tartaria the other day. You'll like this one. Trust me. And if you don't know what Tartaria is, then you might want to go have a look up on that one too. I won't ruin it. It's a part of the journey of adventuring and sorting things out and learning stuff is that road. You know, you've got to walk the road of knowledge. You've got to do your bit. Of course, we've got PayPal as well. That's another one. You know, email me if you want to come on and have a yarn. You know, by all means, jump in and have a crack. As Mona was saying, she's just an admin for the Anticorruption Academy. There's a few other people involved in that one. That's a cool website you might want to check out and whatnot. And of course, if you enjoy, if you need cartooning work done, you know, for whatever reason, here's my production company, you know, and again, you know, for those who may not realize it, all the animations you see like this, that's about, I think I spent maybe 2 minutes knocking that up. You know, here's one I spent a couple of days on. And of course, if you've watched one of our videos, so I design all that stuff myself. You know, that's one of the many tricks I learned as a former musician was, you know, After Effects, special effects things, head's itchy, scratch it through the hat. You know, and I've taken that skill. And again, you know, that guitar riff and, you know, the drums and all that, I programmed the drums, but I played the bass, I played the guitar. That's a completely original song written by me for the purpose of doing these sorts of things. So, you know, yeah, if you need something like that done, even if you're another fellow podcaster out there, you know, like Dennis, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, if you need some, you know, some cool animations to make yourself look just that little bit more professional, you know, drop me a line and, you know, maybe we can sort out some kind of a deal. We can, you know, do business, make things cool. We've got a few more comments here. Ah, you can teach me about crypto also. Cool. So Dennis is another, crypto person who can help us learn. Maybe we can get Dennis in sometime soon to teach us all about crypto, because I'm still trying to figure it out. And there he is, happy as the proverbial pig, because he's reckoning Tartaria is legit, and I might just have to say that he's not the only one who thinks that. I wouldn't go as far myself as to say, hey, Tartaria thing is legit, but there's definitely something in it. There's, particularly if you've gone along and checked out Graham Hancock's work. And, I think Graham Hancock's definitely someone you should have a look at his work. To me, it's one of the more plausible scenarios. It doesn't involve, little aliens and shit flying out of the flying saucers and landing in the sky and whatnot. It's a very interesting concept that is proposed there, and I think that the realm of Tartaria can definitely fit into the Graham Hancock narrative quite well. And that's the thing, when you start finding all these random pieces and go, well, that fits with this and that fits with that, and you start realizing you got this 3 and possibly 4th dimensional puzzle on your hands. Some cool stuff, some very cool stuff. But I hope I've managed to entertain you in some capacity for the last 55 minutes as the world fell apart on me today. But I think I did a good job. If you think I did a good job, you let us know. And, definitely, that's a way to let me know that I did a good job. And, hey, if you got hints and suggestions, please drop them in the comments. Commenting, liking, sharing, I just can't emphasize it enough that those things are really, really important. Hey, look, I'm broke, you might be broke, and you're probably thinking, geez, I wish I could just spare a couple of bucks, but I can't. Then just like and share. Comment, tell me, hey man, really appreciate it. As soon as I got a couple of bucks, I'll definitely fling it your way, something like that effect. Hey man, nice way you saved that show. Or, man, did you just talk some real garbage then? Like, what the hell? What a waste of my time. I want my hour back. Well, good luck. Sorry, that's not the way time works. At least not in this linear corporeal existence that we currently reside within. And of course, another suggestion from my good friend Dennis there, look at Max Egan's older stuff, RE Ancient History, and I tend to agree. There's definitely something pear-shaped with the history books. And, as Graham Hancock says, I don't think it's a great conspiracy. Same as when, what's going on behind the scenes in the mainstream media. It's not really a great conspiracy. These people actually believe that shit. And that's even scarier still, I think. There's that, we're dealing with, an amnesia, as Graham Hancock would say, an insanity, as some people might say. And it's definitely, everybody's looking at the great and powerful Oz, and, the rest of us in this freedom thing are going, hang on, Toto's onto something, what's that dude doing behind the curtain? So, a lot more people need to draw the curtain back and see what's going on behind that, But anyway, that's enough for me. I'm not going to bore you any further with my insane ranting and rambling. But if you do want to hear more of my ranting and ramblings, by all means, let me know. But until next time, thank you all very much for watching, and I do apologise, and so does Mona, that things didn't work out quite the way we had hoped. But better luck next time. Till then, look after yourself and stay free.